didn't fade. Normally it fades into the scene. It didn't do it.
Oh.
Oh, that's a shame. How are we all doing on this fine evening?
Shattered. I hope everybody can excuse my dishevelled appearance and blank looks, because I've just got in from a 6-hour drive and a theme park day with Lex. So I'm here in body, but not exactly in spirit.
Which is my idea of hell. I can't understand why anyone would put themselves through that to go to a theme park.
That was fantastic.
Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? It's like punishment. Punishment? Why would you do it?
For Lex.
And you, because you like it.
We love it. It's the one thing that really bonds us together. We're absolutely berserk about fairground rides. But I do admit, as I get older, it's getting harder and harder to bounce back from when you get off one and go on the next one. And Lex doesn't really sort of wander around and sit down. He kind of bolts from one to the other. So yeah.
You'll run after. So is it the pouchies that bond us together?
Amongst other things, yeah.
We've got a number of things that we're going to go through today. Some interesting, maybe some not so interesting. No, they are all interesting, aren't they? So we've got a bit of news, a bit of random rat news. We've got some work that we've been doing as a society on pedigrees, on homing of new babies, on breeding plans, how our homing process is going to work, and a little bit about where some of the babies from this litter are going to be going, because we can finally talk about it, can't we?
I think so, yeah.
Volume is low, so we can boost the volume up. Awesome.
That's mine.
Should both be switched on. Yeah. Is it really quiet? Let's see if I can boost it.
Oh yeah, I got my thing. Hello.
I'm just gonna see if I can boost the audio a second. Check.
Oh, Annette's on. Hello, Annette.
Give me a moment. I need to boost the volume. Is it any better? I think it's just try.
Oh.
Luckily, I know how to deal with it. Right, is that any better? Do let me know if that's any louder. Any louder. We'll carry on, and I can keep fiddling at some point, can't we?
Yeah. We'll just
trying to see whether.
Oh, Cambridge, Annette, you're not really that far from us. Enjoy yourself in Cambridge.
No, I can actually see that it's not picking up the microphone as well as it would normally be. That's rather strange.
I don't think
just
we can.
A little.
Don't think we can sort of carry on fiddling with it though. Not really.
No, I'm just making sure. Hopefully, I've not buggered something up. I was trying to do something on this the other day. I think maybe it's going through the webcam. Let me just disable that. Is that any better? Let's disable that.
Oh, no, that seems better. It's bouncing around a bit more. Look.
Bouncing around, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was. I think
it's fine now. Said Do Up 54.
Good. Well done. Yeah. I'm glad, Bob. I'm glad it's better now.
Let's just carry on.
Yeah, let's just carry on. Excellent. Right. We were going to start with this random bit of news that's been doing the rounds about this. Any type of rat news, we've got to grab onto it, haven't we? Because it's not like rats pop up in the news very often, and when they do, you got to grab on it. So,
and it's never good news either, is it?
Well, to be fair, no. So there was some news that went and did the rounds, which was about this convenience store in Tokyo. Did you hear about this?
No.
No. So there was a convenience store in Tokyo. And people have recorded footage of it after it closed, that sat outside and recorded, of all these rats running around in there having a whale of a time while the shop was closed. So this was a chain in Tokyo called Family Mart, and it's in the Shibuya district of Tokyo. And I've got a video that I found.
Have you?
Yeah.
We've got to see this.
Let me move on to me nice few.
Aha.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Let's have a little look. This is from The Guardian.
They've got really big eyes. Oh. They're in on all the food. That's not so good. They're really pretty.
Yeah, you could see that they decided to close the store after. Not surprised. Apparently there were 6 individuals spotted.
Oh, look. They've certainly made themselves busy.
Yeah. I mean, if there's any sort of rat news, it's we've got to jump on it, haven't we? So, yeah, that's the only bit of rat news that had come up.
Yeah, they're remarkably pretty. Obviously, all over the world, you've got different sort of little subtypes of rats.
I was looking at the pictures. I was thinking they're not the same. They're not like Norway rats. Although Norway rats are very, very widespread. As you say, they're not the only species in most countries. They do spread around, but
yeah, they're little fine-looking things with big ears and really huge eyes.
A bit sort of mouse-like,
yeah,
in a way. Let me just move that over to there so we can see what we're doing. So that was the bit of rat news. Why don't we quickly run the intro, and then we can talk about our new pedigrees and all the new processes we've been working on.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Roll that intro. Okay, and the cat's decided that she wants to join us. The problem with the cat is that she hears me talking. She thinks I'm talking to her. If I'm on the telephone or I'm talking to the rats or something, she assumes it's her. Why don't you come say hello, Tabitha? This is the poor cat that has to put up with so much with the pouchies. You don't really like it, do you? No. It's like, no, bugger off. Bugger off. Rats in political news. Have to expand on that, Bob. I've not seen that. Not a different attention over here.
Oh.
No. So, pedigrees. So, up to now, we've had a couple of litters, but they've mainly been to try and bolster the kind of the people that we are going to be using. Using's not the word, but the people who are going to be breeding, or the people that we know. Annette's one of them people who's on chat.
Yeah.
So, there's not really been too much we've had to do in terms of process as a society around where they go, or having the right documentation that we feel should go with them. So it gave us a bit more time. We've been working on it now. So I need to stop looking at the desk. It's making the camera wobble. So we've been trying to work on a proper pedigree certificate, as well as a family tree certificate that we can issue with further and future litters that we have. And at the moment, it's just kind of gone through the committee at the moment. But I thought we could maybe do a little preview and see what people think.
Yeah, I think we're up for discussion on the word pedigree as well. That's something we'll talk about.
Yeah, this is something we just knocked up. We want it to be something that looks nice, something that you'd maybe want to put on your wall and kind of be proud of, that you know that it's been done properly, because that's kind of what this is about, is doing it properly.
It's not just something nice for people to keep for pet homes, but
it's not about here's your animal, take it, go. It wants to be, you know, it feels like you're part of something.
Yeah.
That the animal was cared for.
No, it's a nice touch. I produce them for fancy rats.
Yeah. So let's have a look. I've got it on this. This is what we've got so far. I apologise for the chat box. Let's see if I can just hide that chat text for the moment, so we can actually see. So we'll produce these, and we're going to do them back for people who have had them in the past. So Annette will send you one in the post. We've got another couple of people that will be sending these to in the post.
That's right.
But with the registered name. So we're going to insist that names are chosen before they leave. I think that's fair. They should have a registered name before they leave, and we need to be training them to respond to that name before they leave. I think that's fair. The new owner, because if you were going to be rehoming this, then we would expect the people to have come. If you're rehoming a pouch rat that came from us, we'd expect you to have come to us, back to us, to talk to us about it first, and we would maybe then reissue one of these certificates in the new owner's name. I think that, and then we've got that on record of who's currently got them. Obviously, the breeder, because that won't necessarily be us, although we are one of the people doing it. We would hope that there would be more in the future. There's people who are looking to start within the group. Date of birth, the sex. We've got some notes. I think this is useful. So this was just me roughly putting up around the lad from our current litter, but fostered to Alice and Gus. So something that might be useful just to have noted down here might be that there's half the tail was lost due to something or something along the lines. But that shouldn't happen. But if it did, it's noted down, signed by the breeder and signed by someone on the committee, and then dated, and then the sire and the dam information. We're debating around whether to come up with some numbering scheme so that everyone gets a number.
So they've all got a number.
Possibly something that we could look at doing.
Which is easy. It's not a difficult thing to do.
We tried a while back to give people the opportunity to register their rats' details on the website and get a number, but it never really caught on. It's one of the things that people were happy to do it first of all, but updating them in retrospect is a bit harder to get people to do. I know this is all around. People have that same issue, so we'll see. We might just issue the numbers ourselves, and it just be for ours within the society potentially. But we've got some nice paper, and there's some watermarks on the background, some watermarks embedded so they couldn't be. Not that anyone's going to try and fraudulently make them, but if they did, they would be easy to spot that they weren't printed because the watermark wouldn't be there because you can't physically see it, but it is there.
Another thing worth mentioning, I think, is that we do have records that are starting now to go back further than the sire and the dam. We've got parents, we've got couple of grandparents listed now. Nothing in a lot of detail, but we're hoping that as time goes on, we'll start to get quite a comprehensive little family tree. To go with them.
No, that's I think that's good, and we just need to get it down on paper. I think I personally would have liked seeing that if I take on an animal, like to know a bit about who its parents were and where they came from. And at least then we say, well, we can tell that the grandparents came from Germany, the other grandparents come from Newcastle. And I think that's nice.
We've got quite a cosmopolitan bunch. We've got a Belgian guy, we've got a pair from Holland, a pair from Germany, and a girl just like myself from Newcastle.
So that basically would be a really good party.
And then there's Sally.
It almost sounds like a really bad joke, doesn't it?
They're all quite well travelled. We've been incredibly lucky, I think, to be able to get animals from such diverse sources because it really is what we wanted.
So picking and how we've discussed and how we're going to look at trying to pick new owners, or how people will almost put in like an application form to have a pouch rat. We've been working on, and I can get this up actually.
That's worth seeing.
Let me load that. But we've been working on an application form, and it needs to ask the right questions and get the right information out of people, but also to almost allow people to question certain things themselves. Because I think the biggest issue that we've seen when we've been talking to people while we've been running the society is people don't necessarily know they might not be suitable until you tell them, and then at that point it almost sounds a bit like you're being condescending by saying you're not suitable because of A, B and C. So having an application form that's a bit more interactive allows people to think, oh actually. So let's have a look. So this is what we've been working on. You fill in all your basic information, and it's interactive in the sense that certain fields will show and hide depending on basically the questions you answer. And once at the bottom, this is the things that you agree on. So along the lines of that you wouldn't be breeding them, that you would provide the right cage, that you would stay in contact with the society and the breeder, expectation around the animal, and contract signing. And then when you submit it, that goes to all of the committee. And remember that the committee can change every year. Anyone can apply to be on the committee. So if someone has a real issue with the way the animals are or homes are chosen, by all means, they can then stand and they can be making them decisions. It's not just one person. It's not just two people. It's a number of people.
It's massively important to have a proper sounding board with anything like this, I think, to start as you mean to go on.
Well, it gives us the chance to discuss, well, this person has this, but actually they also have this as well, so that's a good thing. And you balance it and you discuss. So the idea will be that the emails go to the committee, we can all discuss it, we can all talk about it and all make a joint decision. We'll take it to a vote and then decide who's best for the animal that we're homing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
the breeder
like,
feeds into that as well.
It's not like we regard anybody as being part of our team because we're all a team. We're all a
well, I always call it the community because it
very much so. Yeah, I think that's really important to stress that we're not just sort of standing alone and making all the decisions.
Well, we're coming up next year. It will be 4 years that the society's been running. 4 years. It's next year.
It isn't 4.
It's 4.
Well, we didn't get Arthur until 2016.
Sure, it's 4.
No.
Is it 3 then? 3 years next year. Okay, 3 years. almost off.
Yeah.
So 3 years, and although a lot of the same names have been there, that you've got to think the names of the people that are behind the scenes have changed in that time. Some people have left, some people have joined. But I would love to see a day where everyone has changed at one point or another and everyone gets their say. Because that can happen.
Yeah.
It's not fixed. It's not one person who's in charge of everything. It can be anyone. If anyone's willing to give it a go. So that's how we're hoping that we can make sure that babies go to the best possible homes. And it's about taking some of the pressure off breeders. So if there are a number of breeders who want to work with the society, then it means that it's not just them saying no, it's not just them saying yes. Me personally, I'm not always that good at saying no to people, but you are, so that kind of works. It means that as a breeder you might say, well, actually I was kind of open to it, but the guys that have all spoke about this and made a decision have come to the decision that you're not suitable, or they've come to the decision you are suitable. I wasn't sure, but they say you are, so I trust their judgment. Kind of takes the strain off the one person.
Yeah, it also stops people getting hounded or victimised or...
yeah, because I can imagine if someone was really determined, they could actually... I've seen it not with pouches, but in other animal groups where people have said no and then they've been hounded by on abuse and all sorts because of that. It takes away that for us, basically.
Yeah, or minimises the risk.
Yeah. So the female from the current litter that we've got will be the first baby to kind of go as a
pet home.
As a pet home. So she is currently looking for a home.
Yeah.
It's been hard for us to kind of spell out on Facebook because it's hard to be sure of the rules and the reactions. But yeah, so she's the first female and she is looking for a home. So if you are interested, you'll find the application form online. I'll show everyone where it is. And if getting a pouch rat, it's this application form. Just fill in that form, and then we just go through them and we see.
Yeah.
That's as
yeah. I'm sure she'll find something lovely, and as time goes on, they're already starting to develop little personalities. Particularly the 2 boys, they're very, very different, and the 2 boys have got a home too.
They have. Do you want to talk a bit about where they're going? Because we've only just been able to talk about where they're going, really. Yeah,
they're going to be part of an organisation called Africa Alive. It's a themed wildlife park, and I drove past it today, funnily enough, in Lowestoft in Suffolk. They run things very, very tightly. They have their own vets. They have to fall in with DEFRA guidelines, and ballet, which is also a governing body that makes sure that unusual animals are held in captivity fairly and treated properly. So it's all very official. And I'm really quite confident about going to see where they're going to live. They're having an enclosure built for them.
Yeah. So
And that's all we've got at the moment. We're just in the midst of getting some, like you say, records together, family histories, medical histories of all the other rats, and getting all that down on paper so that they can go ahead with their process.
Well, I've got their website
Oh
up
yeah,
here.
look.
Yeah, because it's it kind of suits because obviously it's a park only for African animals, so
Yeah.
it kind of suits, I guess. And we've been to, this is obviously the smaller site on the side of Banham Zoo, isn't it? We've been to Banham Zoo, and I remember us leaving then going, oh well, you know, that was really nice zoo.
Yeah.
Kira's actually on chatting. It was Kira that we
Oh,
went
is
with, and
she?
you know, we really enjoyed it, didn't we? It was a really nice zoo.
Yeah, yeah, but we've not been to Africa Alive, so we really will have to do that before there's any
I
exchange.
think we lost the Facebook stream briefly. Then I think it's come back. Facebook stream back. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it looks back. Excellent. Just looking at some of the animals they had on there because they've got they have got a couple of. Let's have a look. A couple of the because we haven't actually been to Africa Live itself, have we? Just
No.
Benham Zoo, but
Oh, acacia rats.
we
Used
do.
to have them.
Yeah, they're amazing little animals. They
Yeah.
are very very self-sufficient, not like pouches at all. Brush-tailed porcupine,
Oh.
crested porcupine. Hyrax.
Yeah, so if anyone out there's been to Africa Alive, it would be really nice to hear some people's opinions, you know, whether they've been happy with it, and we'll go to see it soon.
I'd love to see, you know, giant African pouch rat on here.
Yeah.
Because they've spent a long time waiting, so they contacted us a long time ago with interest, and we said it would take a bit of time because
we hadn't had a litter booked at that time.
We hadn't had litters.
all.
We weren't really prepared. No. It was winter, and we weren't expecting litter. And then we did have a litter, but it was only one, and then there was another one, and then we had other people that were waiting. So it's taken a while, but they've waited. They've been patient, and I think we're quite pleased. They're going off to. I mean, it's a different life. It's not a pet life.
It's a more natural way of life, and they will be used for educational purposes as well, so that. Not only would people learn about them as an animal, but also about a pawpaw and the brilliant work that they do in Africa that saved thousands and thousands of lives.
Exactly. I think it's
yeah.
Could be interesting.
Be a very proud day, I think, when.
Well, we're going to take them up there, aren't we?
We
said we'd take them up there and see the enclosure and meet the guys and maybe even the keepers that can be looking after them.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy. Quite happy with that.
Yeah.
So, what else did we have on the agenda? We were going to talk about. So, oh, excuse me. We've decided. I think we might have mentioned it, possibly in passing before, but we sometimes do shows a couple of times a year. Various shows we've done in the past, and they've always been, you know, they've been good fun, but they've always kind of been a bit nothingy.
They're incredibly hard work. There's a lot of planning that people don't see, and a lot of financial outlay that people don't see. It's demanding for the animals. I'd be hesitant to say they particularly enjoyed it. I think it served a purpose at the time, but we can't even get a night away these days, barely, without worrying about the animals, because the breeding,
exactly,
the breeding and the husbandry has definitely now taken precedence over any PR work we might be doing.
So we did run a vote against the guys in the committee to see whether it would be worth us doing any shows this year, and we're kind of thinking we're not going to this year, and we'll reassess again next year, just because there's not really anything to gain from it.
No, and again, this is the value of having a committee. It was a joint decision made by 6 or 7 people who discussed all the pros and cons, and I think it's absolutely the right thing.
I mean, the pros that we had was that we got to meet some people that we have known online, or we've seen them online but never actually met them in person. That's been great. But it's never been the opposite around, have we? I don't think, for as far as I'm aware, there's no one who came to a show who was really, really like engrossed by the pouch rats and is now like well engrossed into the community, really. So I can't really say there's been a lot gained from it, which is partly why I think the decision was made. It's not in terms of the resource outlay, because we were having to spend on, things like the banners we've got in the background, tables, the hotel costs, the petrol costs, the food, the dinner, and then also the cages.
Yeah. And everything that you want to dress the cages with. It's never ending, really. It's, it had to be treated as a bit of a weekend away, otherwise there wouldn't have been any.
Oh yeah, we classed it as a holiday, but
yeah. And I'm glad we did it when we did it, but I'm also glad not to be doing it now.
And I think also because we're now going to be having litters, and because of the nature of the way pouch rats breed, we can't really predict when we're going to have babies.
No, they decide when.
They decide when it happens, not us.
Yeah, they're not like fancy rats who will breed sort of throughout the year, around the clock, every 3 weeks. They don't do that.
No, well,
thankfully.
Lois has still been kicking Bob off, so it's. I'm glad they don't seem to actively jumping straight back on each other. That they are taking their time, which is good.
Yeah.
But it does mean that you could have a 2-month break or a 3-month break or a 6 weeks break. You never really know. So we can't really plan. Because we can't leave them for 2 days while we go off. We'd have to bring them all. And we've got too many to bring.
Can't. It's completely.
We've got too many now.
Impractical.
It wouldn't be practical for us to do it. Plus, I don't think we've got any that I would be comfortable in having as interactive.
No.
Sally would have been great a couple of months ago. Not anymore.
No.
Arthur always hated them. Dear Tora was wonderful at doing the shows.
She is, I would say, the only one that's really, truly enjoyed them. But she's obviously passed away. Now, she was a lovely girl.
Yes, there's not really anything to gain from it. So, yeah, we'll see. What we've said is that we'll still look to do. So we've done the Skull World Forum event with a Popo. And we probably still look to doing that because that's a bit more closed off. There's actually a real purpose to it.
Yeah.
It raises awareness of a Popo and it does a lot of good for them.
Yeah,
so that's a bit different.
It's a charity and not-for-profit convention, but the way that it's set up is that they'll get a venue with lots of separate rooms so that it is literally walled off.
Yeah.
It's a bit different, less.
And people come in
noisy.
really slowly. It's like one person comes in and then 5 people come in like 2 minutes later, and it's very drips and drabs, and it's ideal for them because people can look and you can actually talk to them. You're not kind of pushing it through. But hey, why don't we have a quick scan through the comments, because I've been trying to keep up with some of them as we've been going. So Kira's saying it looks exactly like the pedigree papers. I'm glad, because I did kind of copy the Kennel Club's paper when I did that.
You used them for research. You were inspired by them.
Yeah, I think Facebook's frozen again.
Okay.
YouTube's fine though, which is strange. At least I assume YouTube's fine. Just see. It's rather odd. Yeah, no, that's fine. Right, I'm just getting the YouTube comments up as well.
Okay.
So, it was 3. My bad, it was 3 years. No, Kira got it right. You got it right.
I know.
It's because Kira's saying about the zoo. Yeah, no, it was a lovely zoo. I was really impressed. And you could actually stand fairly close to him. Was it a tiger, leopard? I can't remember what it was now. It was quite a while ago.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? That was a nice day out, actually.
Annette's saying Floki would love a show. I reckon Floki probably would, because Floki, the 2 boys that have gone off, and been wonderful. I feel like we're beaming parents. Really, really happy of how they've turned out.
We really are, but that's also down to the people who are looking after them now, that they're so confident with them and so happy with them. They know. Yeah, exactly. They do know. They're proud of themselves.
But we will get one of them certificates done up, nice paper, all sorted properly.
Yeah.
I want it to feel properly. Send them out to the people who have had them so far. Yeah. And then from then forth.
Yeah. That'll all happen. The Alice and Gus saga somebody's mentioned.
Well, Bob was mentioning the Alice and Gus saga.
Yeah.
That was
I can imagine that most of the people on this list have actually looked in on the Facebook group anyway, but what a remarkable little mother Alice is.
Well, she didn't really bat an eyelid that one of the babies wasn't hers, and
no.
Although there was a couple of days difference, you really couldn't tell it now, because I think
the only way we can tell the two boys apart is one that we've nicknamed Meat is actually a paler colour, isn't it?
And what have you nicknamed the other one?
Knob.
Meat and Knob. Do you reckon they should go to the zoo with that name? All these lovely names. And
Nobby Knob.
And Knob. Yeah, and Meat. Maybe not. But we'll see. The little girl hasn't got a name. Ideally, she would have a name at the moment. I think we left it a little bit late to say that we were looking for a home for her.
I don't know. Let's just see what comes through, and hopefully somebody will pick her up very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob's saying Trump. No, I did see something about this. Trump's members of the Congress from Baltimore is coming from a filthy rat-infected district. There's plenty of things I could say about that man.
There's plenty of rats been living in the White House over the years.
Well, over the last couple of years,
definitely. Big stinking ginger one, yeah.
Yeah. I could say plenty of things about him. He's not the most popular of people in the UK, is he?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But I know that some people in the US do, so we'll stay away from too many political discussions. Glad people really like into the idea of the pedigrees.
That's good. It's really nice to get that support. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kira said, I thought both boys were Alice's. One of the boys was born to Lois and Bob, and she decided after a couple of days that she was bored of feeding him. It seemed a bit of a repeat. She seems to do this if she's got just one baby.
It was another. Floki was fine, funnily enough, but it was just this other single baby thing waiting to happen. A couple of days in, she was sort of out of the nest more than she was on it, and the baby was getting cold. And having a foster mum right there, it was just too good an opportunity to miss out on. So we rubbed all the babies together, popped them in, and Alice took to all three of them. She was fantastic.
And Gus is
Gus has been
He's being a good. This is the first time that we've been able to. Well, Bob stayed with the baby, didn't he, when it was Bob and Lois for that, and he was actually quite happy, and he was licking it and he loved it.
She allowed him to stay in this time,
but Gus wasn't kicked out at all.
No,
and
Gus wasn't kicked out.
So it does show that the males can stay in. They won't come straight back into heat, and they won't mate exactly the day the babies are born, which is the big concern with fancy rats.
And they seem to be very protective and kind towards the babies. They're not trying to eat them.
No, once she gets up, he lays on them, and vice versa. It's what we have known to happen in the wild is that the males do look after the babies as well, and I have seen him bringing her food and bits.
Yeah.
As much as he likes his space, it's his corner.
He wants the corner, and
he will kick the babies out.
Yeah.
And kick her out to get to the
corner.
corner.
Now that the babies are getting more active, between 2 and 3 weeks, they start squabbling with each other, and they've got their teeth in the nip. And one of them ran over to poor Dad and nipped him in the face when he was trying to sleep the other day, and he just went, oh. And carried on sleeping. He didn't...
Brought him out of himself, though, hasn't it? It's really brought himself.
Oh, Gus is just incredible. He's such a changed man, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Compared to where he was a nervous bag of nerves, wasn't he, originally?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's taken a bit of time.
He's a proper family guy. Yeah.
Bob said a rat once swam in the White House pool with Barbara Bush. I want to see a picture of that.
Maybe that Jim Painted could do that.
Yes.
Yeah, we can ask him to do that.
Yeah. We should tweet him. Can you draw a picture of a rat swimming with Barbara Bush?
Oh, I'm melting up here.
It is getting a bit warm, but it has been half an hour, and I think that's probably us done.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe there'll be a nice
I'm exhausted.
JD and Coke for us or something.
Only if you go and buy some, because I'm not getting in that car again.
I guess it'll be me. Right. I will say bye for now, folks.
Yeah, bye for now. Thank you ever so much, everybody that's tuned in. It really does mean a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, well, if lots of people join in, lots of people are watching, we'll keep doing them. If no one's interested and no one watches them, then we won't. But there's people that do. People come around.
It forces us to talk to each other for half an hour anyway.
Oh yeah, because all we're going to do is go sit downstairs and ignore each other now for the next 3 or 4 hours.
Yay!
Until you tell me to change the Pouch's poo bowls.
Yeah, that is pretty crucial. Yeah, they do stink. They do stink a bit. Come on then, let's do it.
Okie dokie, right, I got a thing. Right, bye for now, everyone.
Bye everybody, bye.